Good evening and welcome to Tyler Carlin Tonight. Only in our upside-down republic does the so-called law and order party convulse like a kicked beehive the moment anyone asks dear leader for a dollop of transparency. You see, Trump was asked one simple question: will you cop off the Epstein files? And he recoiled like a vampire at sunrise. Desecration, he gasped. Desecration? No, Mr. President, desecration is shielding a dead child trafficker's Rolodex because it might splash mud on your golf cufflinks. But that's the new gospel. You'll eat what's for dinner and you won't ask any questions. Why? Because asking questions threatens their existence. Shut up or be branded anti-law enforcement or whatever slur their meme lords have cooked up today. Oh, and it gets juicier. Elon Musk, fresh off torching billions of dollars of shareholder equity on his free speech amusement park, couldn't resist twisting the knife himself. How can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files, is what he says on Twitter. Coming from Musk, that's the rhetorical equivalent of Mike Tyson asking why your right hook is so rough. Because this is the same guy who a few months back ignited Twitter with another pearl. Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Musk posted, sprinted, and deleted. That's a classic billionaire peekaboo. Yet here he is again, pretending he's Captain Accountability. Well, spare us the cosplay, Elon. You kept that revelation holstered while you shoveled campaign cash into Trump's pockets and vacuumed up Star Destroyer-sized federal contracts. Principle didn't suddenly bloom overnight, and your feelings got hurt when Republicans kneecapped the EV mandate. So it looks like a wounded wallet is the only moral compass in the boardroom. So, Elon Musk's hypocrisy accidentally spotlights Trump's panic. The man who promised to declassify Roswell, JFK, and maybe even KFC's 11 herbs and spices suddenly invents a new category: files too phony to show.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
So in other words, I'll open the vault unless the vault incriminates me. Then magically it's full of deep state graffiti. You can practically hear the lawyers yanking the microphone off his lapel. Let's rewind the tape they hope we lose. 1992, Mar-a-Lago, Trump and Epstein sizing up young girls dancing. Granted, while Trump's rationale for not releasing the files is pretty damn clear, it's also worth noting that Elon Musk is not some white knight here either. After all, this video certainly existed when Elon Musk was throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at Donald Trump to become the next president. It's not like his relationship with Epstein was some secret, as Trump himself likes to say.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine that Epstein likes him young. These facts aren't peanuts on the floor. They're red flags in hurricane winds. If video surfaced of Barack Obama clinking glasses with Epstein, Fox News would run an atomic clock countdown to public hangings. When it's Trump, suddenly we all need to be fair-minded. But Elon isn't the only opportunist. Conservative Twitter all-stars Jack Posobiec, Chaya Raichik paraded through the East Room, waving blank binders like they'd uncovered the Dead Sea Scrolls. They snapped selfies, harvested rage clicks, and 6 months later delivered silence. The faithful keep refreshing Telegram channels, waiting for a climatic drop that never lands. That's not exposure, that's audience retention. So riddle me this. Why should you even pretend to be shocked when the man Jeffrey Epstein himself, called his closest friend for a decade, refuses, again, to cough up the files that could sink him? Did you really expect honesty from a guy lounging on a private island of secrets? They think you're stupid, they really do. And Elon Musk is gambling on exactly that. He's not outraged on principle, he's sour that Trump and his Republican footmen just shredded the EV credits tucked into the budget. Suddenly, the skeletons Elon Musk has known about for years are disqualifying. Funny timing, right? And the answer to that question is, of course, he knew. You knew. We all knew. Yet silence reigned because the checks kept clearing. They hate you. They really do. And they'll believe you'll swallow any reheated virtue signaling so as long as it's wrapped in a blue check tweet. Now, Musk claims that Trump is in the Epstein files. but only after he's outside the Oval Office gates. Why not blow that whistle when he actually sat across from the man, shaping policy over Diet Cokes? Because back then, blackmail potential was leverage, a bargaining chip to twist screws for SpaceX launch pads. Epstein isn't some moral red line to these people. He's a poker chip to be cashed when the pot looks ripe. So let's be brutally honest, okay? Both Musk and Trump weaponized voters' hungers for accountability. He dangled "drain the swamp" like a shiny lure, then yanked the line the moment power was in hand. Republican rallygoers roared for justice when what they got was a disappearing act. Surprised? Don't be. Trump's entire MO is bait and switch. He vows glittering temples, then sells sawdust and calls it marble. Remember the first term litany? An infrastructure renaissance that never broke ground. A cheaper, better healthcare plan that never escaped fantasy. A middle-class tax miracle that vaporized on contact with reality. And a job boom that never sputtered. And a manufacturing revival that withered. But what did materialize was a tidy tax cut for the man in the mirror. Now it's deja vu. Cheaper groceries, lower rent. Big justice for Epstein's victims. Promises lined up like carnival ducks, but the rifles loaded with blanks. How many times does Trump have to flat out fuck you over before you accept that lying isn't a glitch? It's the operating system. He knows that he can peddle any fairy tale for your vote, because once the ballot box clicks shut, loyalty dissolves faster than truth in Mar-a-Lago humidity. And whenever the con starts cracking, there's always a Pam Bondi waiting to plaster over the rot.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
She's contorting the truth so wildly she could get gold medals in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Synchronized spin, first place locked. But tell me, Trump diehards, do you even spot the hustle? He squeezed you for your votes, cash, worship, and then lit every promise on fire the second Air Force One's wheels left the runway. Donald Trump got what he needed out of all of you and refuses to stand by his word. And Elon Musk knew about the grifter-in-chief's game, stayed silent until it greased his own empire. Elon Musk was well aware of who Trump was and kept quiet only until he could use it as political leverage for himself. They strut as conquerors of the deep state. Yet who is the deep state if not this cartel of mega-rich insiders barricading their loot? This is what the deep state is. A bunch of wealthy political elites looking to protect themselves and their own interests. This is what the deep state is. A bunch of wealthy, powerful political elites looking to protect themselves and their own interests. These are the very people Donald Trump pretended to want to fight against, when in reality the perpetrators are Trump and his allies themselves. They think you're stupid. They really do. And that's how they won, because they hate you. They really do. Your wages and worries are just background static to their yachts and tax havens. So ask yourself again, why do the richest men on earth only find their consciences when their wallets feel like a draft? Why do they treat justice like a coupon, redeemable only when the deal goes south? Do they think you'll never notice? Do they think that you're stupid? And the answer to that, of course, is yes, they do. They really do. And they hate you. They hate you because asking questions threatens their entire existence. Remember, you'll eat what's for dinner and you won't ask any questions. So shut up and accept it. Shut up and accept our new reality. That pretend that the Epstein list doesn't exist. Pretend that Pam Bondi's cover-up attempt is profound. Just like we had to pretend that the White House faith advisor, a televangelist who sells $99 per shipping of fortune, is a paragon of virtue. Oh, she's so great.
We dare you to say she wasn't! She was ridiculous!
Meanwhile, back in reality, victims still wait for justice because Epstein wasn't a lone serpent. He was a syndicate concierge. Flight logs, sworn affidavits, sealed depositions, mountains of data. Yet Trump's DOJ emerges after 5 years to declare no blackmail, no murder, no list. Hundreds of girls groomed, but apparently no client base. Houdini would applaud. So why does any of this matter? Because secrecy metastasizes. If they can bury this, international sex trafficking, celebrity testimony, and flight logs, imagine what they can bury tomorrow. Toxic spill data, wage theft audits, police body cam footage. Sunlight is their kryptonite. Distraction is their lead-lined coffin. Yet Republicans keep the base hypnotized with culture war clickbait. Drag brunch panics, woke candy mascots, while slashing $700 billion from Medicaid in the dark. Every minute you chase phantoms, they auction your kids' school lunches to the lowest bidder. So what's the play? FOIA the hell out of every docket, subpoena every deposition, drag Pam Bondi back under oath, and make Dan Bongino explain his vow of silence. And when they stonewall, sue. Because courts still exist, and juries still detest liars, and court orders bite harder than tweets. Look, Trump has broken every promise that mattered. Cheap health care, rebuilt infrastructure, middle-class tax cuts, a manufacturing boom. Now he dangles Epstein justice like catnip for suckers. How many times must the con man bite before you admit that he was a snake from day one?
On her way to work one morning, down the path, along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me. But why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
They want this channel throttled, demonetized, buried under algorithmic sludge, so the only voice left is state-approved propaganda. Prove them wrong. Subscribe, hit the bell button, and forward this to every person still chanting, release the list. One voice is target practice. 1 million is an artillery barrage. I'm Tyler Carlin, and if that statement tightens their collars, good, because it means the truth hit the artery.